Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome you all for our ninth webinar of AgriTech Agrithon project. I am Dr. Dilni Bandara, the moderator of this session. You all know Agrithon is the Sri Lankan first ever AgriTech hackathon project. And we successfully done 8 webinars with experts in agricultural and technology field. Today our topic is startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka, and there is a special person who has lot of experience and knowledge in this field. He is the director of startup ecosystem development and worked at Information Communication Technology Agency in Sri Lanka for 11 years. Okay, now I cordially invite Mr. Sachindra Samaratna to share his knowledge and experience with us.
Thank you, Dilly. Thank you for the kind introduction. I'm so happy to be here addressing you this morning, and I thank you, thank the organizers for organizing such a great event. And my team has also been involved in organizing Agrithon as a national partner, and I know we got involved in conceptualization, also got involved in setting the marking schemes and setting the process right. And I hope for both parties, it's been a good learning experience, and that there'll be much more that can be done with the persistence and the keenness that the Rotaractors of University of Kelaniya have. I should make a special mention of Akhil. He's one of the reasons that I am on this call, especially because he supported us as a volunteer under the best volunteers that we had for a special project, which I will mention in my next slides. So I'm also paying it forward for Akhil's support, and so wanted to mention that. It's great to see. I was told that there are 17 semi-finalists on board this call. I'm not sure if all the 17 are here, but welcome to those who are on the call. And again, congratulations for being selected among altogether about 40. So 25 from university category and 10 semi-finalists, 15 from school category and 7 semi-finalists. So you guys have, I would say your idea has been validated to some extent, and that's why you're here. But the journey has just started. And it just doesn't end when you reach the finals and when you get selected for the final 3. I was told that you'll be given further mentoring as well. And so the journey has just started. And I hope through this journey, you have really understood the problem that you're dealing. You're in the agriculture space, and it's a very important space for the country. It's a space that tech diffusion can do a lot. And change the game of being agriculture export oriented country. So I hope you have understood the domain well, that you have understood the problem that you're tackling well, and that in our parlance we say that you have fallen in love with the problem and not exactly the solution, and that you would do anything that it takes to solve that particular problem that you're dealing with. So with that note, let me get into the presentation. So the title reads Towards a Startup Nation. And what I will present to you is what does this startup nation, what is a startup nation entail? And what is the role that ICTA is currently playing, and what will we be doing in the future? And I will end with ecosystem analysis of where our startup ecosystem is now. So I'll try to open up for questions somewhere in the middle so that you are able to interact. Let me see participants. I see there are 27 participants on board. So do send your questions on chat and the moderator will direct it to me. But I really would love to interact with you when I break it out so that you can have some, I can see your face, and then you speak as well. I will go off video just to save up network. Sometimes it's a bit fuzzy where I live. So I'm going to go off video and start on the presentation. Okay. Okay. So what is the startup nation that I'm talking about? The startup nation is our plan is to fulfill it or to a greater extent by 2024, is an economy where the technology companies contribute to $3 billion of exports. $3 billion of exports. And that would be about 5 to 6% of our GDP. It's an economy where it will thrive through 1,000 startups in existence. Right now, we have about 450 startups, technology startups in our country. And we plan to have 1,000 by that time. In my scope, I would mainly talk about startups, which are technology or technology based, as that's the bigger percentage in our country. And that's the biggest percentage which can globally scale. And 2024, we also look at 300,000 workforce in our technology sector. So that's like the landscape of the technology industry that we forecast for 2024. So what does it mean to become a startup nation? It means that there will be dedicated units in government agencies, government departments, which will support startups. I'm happy to say from this year onwards, ICTA has formed such a unit. We call it the Startup Ecosystem Development Pillar. There's a director, there are senior managers, and it's a special unit formed to support the growth of the startup ecosystem with the vision of becoming a startup nation. A startup nation will also mean that we will have globally recognized tech startups. It will also mean that our ecosystem will be startup and investor friendly with legal and policy frameworks, which is conducive for upcoming entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who want to scale and grow. It will also mean that a startup nation will be globally connected. We can't be in a silo as a startup nation, even though we call it a nation which is connected to all other ecosystems in the world. The more globally connected we are, the more globally recognized our tech startups would be, and the more globally scalable we could be. So it's all interrelated. We don't do this in a silo. So ICTA has been in this game for since 2010. Before the word startup was coined in Sri Lanka, I would say, before it was more popular, ICTA has been working with many stakeholders. And as you see, there are so many different parties in our ecosystem supporting from different ways. So we call them enablers. So ICTA has been connected to all these enablers to support the ecosystem for a long time. And this is just in a nutshell what ICT has been up to in 2020. I will start from the left bottom hand side. So this is the Startup Genome Global Startup Ecosystem Report. And this is the report that Akhil helped us with to gather information, working with the different enablers. We had a survey which was filled by 120 odd startups. So Akhil supported us in that. And because of that, we were able to be recognized in the Global Startup Ecosystem Report as a country. And we're happy to say that our nation saw 4x growth in our ecosystem value since 2017. That's a really good number for a country which is at activation stage or at early stage. And so that was one of the highlights in 2020. Another really important highlight was that the government, through the Ministry of Finance, issued a circular saying that all software procurements, all I would say software sourcing, software needs of government agencies which are less than 2 million were to be exclusively given to startups on the Startup SL platform. That's what you see on the top left hand corner. www.startupsl.lk is the platform which brings all the startups in the country together onto one plane, all the ecosystem providers all into one plane. And this was developed by the support of many ecosystem players, by the support of government, and now we have it ready and people are using it, and 418 are listed on it. Another these things I would go deep into in my next slide is Spiralation. We supported 20 startups to be incubated through that program last year. We also engaged with assignment. It was assignment that was done with PwC, where we wanted to come up with a report and which identifies the challenges or the we call it blockers or impediments that entrepreneurs face when they want to start their business. And we call it a startup impediments report, and we have an action plan. We have identified 19 agencies who we will engage with to remove those impediments so that it will be a conducive policy and legal framework for entrepreneurs to come. We've also likewise engaged with PwC uh, to formulate alternative credit scoring frameworks. I think this might be a bit heavy for you. Within simpler terms, it's difficult for technology companies to get loans from banks because of the current model that the banks use to provide loans. They usually ask for physical or tangible collateral. So we have worked with PwC to come up with a different model which will not require tangible collateral. So you will see more of this to come. And lastly, ICTA has also worked with the Berlin Senate through our honorable ambassador there to form an memorandum of understanding, an MOU with the Berlin Senate, and especially it will target building the startup ecosystem, and the first of its forums will be on agriculture. It will be on agri-tech. So I've just given you a brief to give you some confidence. There is a lot of work taking place to support you guys, to support those budding entrepreneurs to come, and those entrepreneurs like you who have formed teams, who have pitched, and who are looking to take the next few steps. So one of the things that you can do is is to apply for Spiralation. We will open up Spiralation, I think the 10th round this year, most probably in May. And up to now, we have supported over 90 startups. And these startups have, I would say, I'm happy to say that they have made it global. A lot of them have made it global. They have accessed more funding rounds, and they are doing really well. And one of those startups is SenseMate. So Miller, I would believe, would have spoken to you in a previous engagement. So we're happy about Miller's progress in this area. Startup SL, as I mentioned, is the portal that you should go register on after you register your business, or when you put your team together and is going to take the next steps in building your startup. Go register on Startup SL. You will get a lot of support from there, including AWS credits, which we have offered to all the startups who register on this platform. Disrupt Asia is a conference and exhibition that we host as ICTA and have hosted for the past 4 years. We had to postpone due to the pandemic situation, but the next Disrupt Asia will be truly regional. It will be truly global, and that's our hope, and something you should really put down in your calendar to be part of. ICTA has also worked with universities, and our engagement with Agrithon is especially through this program called Imagine If, which is a bootcamp series and our engagement model with universities. University students in, I think, 15 universities have taken part in programs, and I think we have worked with more than 1,500 university students in 2018 and 2019, where they have pitched over 100 ideas. As you see in these pictures, over 100 ideas at these sessions, which took place. This is another program which we work with teachers, and we have worked with more than 3,000 teachers who are trainee teachers. They are in teaching colleges, so that they can inculcate STEAM education: science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. That's STEAM, and those are basic essentials for innovation. And we have worked with these teachers to bring about this change in education. So you could see, guys, that ICTA throughout the years have engaged in all aspects of startup ecosystem development, from education, when it comes to primary and secondary education, working with university students, and also working with startups. And as I mentioned earlier, we work with a global consultancy agency, analyst called Startup Genome, who publishes the Global Startup Ecosystem Report very closely, essentially because we need the data of our ecosystem to be able to develop it. What you don't monitor, we can't develop. We won't know where we are. So we work closely with them. So getting into what our startup ecosystem is like, I mentioned the Global Startup Ecosystem Report and certain elements of it. We will have another publication. They will have another publication this year as well. So hopefully we hope to have improved. In terms of the various verticals, the businesses that these startups are in, like you guys are getting into agri-tech, which you see at the bottom right-hand side. You see Sense Agro there as well. Maybe Turu have also spoken to you. Turu is also a startup which was supported by Spiralation. Likewise, there are startups who are in various other industry verticals, fintech, high-tech, drones, tech, the logistics and transportation sector, e-commerce, education. So there are many verticals, we call these verticals, that these startups are involved in. A distribution of startups taken from the SLASCOM report in 2019 is quite heavily concentrated on the Western province, but with the ICTA's regional cluster development plan, we have engaged with the Northern province, we have engaged with the UWA province. There are thriving startup ecosystems there. In UWA, there's a group called the UWA IT Hub, who's doing some great work and which we have engaged with them for the past 10 years. And in Northern province, there is the the YAL IT Hub, which has done the YAL Geek Challenge for almost 10 years, for over 10 years, which we also engage with. So we could say that there are, even though the numbers say this, if we do a survey now, there will be much more traction in the Northern and UWA provinces. Since this is old, maybe 2021, it will be much, much more. And that's something I'm very, very happy about. As startups, we serve the export market as well as the local market, and our ownership structures are mixed. Some are 100% Sri Lankan, some are have ownership of ownership structures which have foreign investors also. And in this slide, you see the revenue breakdown, where some startups we see about 156% are getting revenue through a local market, whereas there's a mix of foreign and local at the bottom of the slide. So when you start building your startup, what I would always advise is to, when you identify the problem, think of other markets, think of other similar markets which also has the same problem. Because when you come up with a solution, then you could think of a global solution and not only a local solution. You can think globally, you implement or do your proof of concept locally, and then you are able to scale. And there'll be so many players, so many opportunities that you would have to scale your business. Sri Lanka is connected globally to different parties. We have investors from various countries who have invested in Sri Lankan startups. As you see on the screen, Indian Angel Network is one, the Dialogue Innovation Fund, Blue Ocean Ventures. They're all funds that have invested in Sri Lanka. We also have strong partnerships with the European Union, the Southeast Asian organizations. And I should specially mention the European Union Sri Lanka Innovation Partnership, as they have launched a thematic challenge for agri-tech. A thematic challenge for agri-tech. And for those who are registered on Startup SL, we have opened this up. And this is something you could look at in the next few months to come. When you go through this process and when you have your MVP and hopefully at a point of proof of concept, you can apply for these challenges. So you can be encouraged that there is a lot of work, a lot of support given for agri-tech in Sri Lanka. Another aspect of our ecosystem is boot camps, which are organized or supported by global, I would say, communities like Techstars. Some of you might have taken part in Startup Weekend. And we had about 18 startup weekends altogether since we started in 2016. The Entrepreneur Organization Global Student Entrepreneur Awards was held recently. I was happy to say that a startup founder who was supported by Spiralation won it. This is something you can apply for, an organization that you can link with to get support while you're a student starting a business, and so on and so forth. There are many other linkages that Sri Lanka has. So this is kind of a map of what has happened during the past 10 years. So the growth of our ecosystem obviously did not take place within 2 or 3 years. It has been growing since 2010. From the point where ICTA Spiralation was born, the Lankan Angel Network was born, Venture Engine, YALGeek Challenge, we have come through many new initiatives being born in Sri Lanka. You can see the past 5 years have seen tremendous growth, or new organizations coming in to support startups in our ecosystem. Corporates like John Keells starting their own programs, which is a really good indication of ecosystem which is maturing. We saw the start of Disrupt Asia. We even saw funding going into social impact heavy startups like the Lankan Impact Investment Network, LIN, which was launched in 2016. We saw Athpowder mainstreaming entrepreneurship and supporting social ventures. And this year, I'm happy to say the Lankan Angel Network has launched a 100 million fund by getting together 100 investors to support early stage startups. That's organizations or startups like you who are at an idea stage and who will come up with a minimum viable product, and they will look to support you. But all this will only be available if you're committed to your startup. If you are fallen in love with your problem and that you have understood the domain really well, so that the solution that you're bringing in will be able to be implemented locally while scaled globally. And if you have that passion and drive, there'll be various entities who could support you. I will go into more detail in the next few slides. So before going into the network, I would like to pause there because I've gone through many slides during this. I would say I've spent about 25 minutes right now. So I would like to open for any questions. Let me switch off the screen and then see if there are questions. Guys, are there questions on the chat? Let's see. You can switch on your mics and ask me the questions, guys. So I will spend about 5 minutes on questions.
Sir, we disabled the mute and
okay, you have you've unmuted.
Disable all mics.
Okay.
After end of the session, we are going to be a Q&A section.
Oh, right. Okay. So you don't want me to take questions now. Okay. So I'll then go through it and then shift to questions. Okay. So if you do have questions, guys, note it down and then send it through the chat, or just note it down and ask me directly when I finish the presentation. I'll at least leave about 15 minutes to answer any questions. Okay. So as I mentioned, there are so many entities in our ecosystem supporting startups. And this is a network diagram which was done by the ITC, International Trade Corporation. And as you see, right there in the right hand side or bottom, there are incubators, accelerators, there are universities, There are co-working spaces, there are donor organizations, various business chambers, venture capital funds, angel investors, and many other government organizations, all linked to each other for one purpose of supporting startups. The purpose for all of this, these interactions that you see through these lines, are various agencies supporting each other through information sharing, through providing grants, through various services, all for the purpose of supporting startups. So this could be something you should be happy about and something which should give you hope that in your entrepreneurial journey, there are so many who is willing to support you. This is the funding or investor landscape in our country. This has been mapped out based on the maturity of your startup. Right now, you're at your idea stage, and then you will form your MVP and then see how much of traction you have for your product, how much of customers are willing to pay for your product, and then you start earning revenue and so on and so forth. You will go down this journey of maturing. And there are organizations who are willing to fund you, who would willing to fund you and support you through knowledge and investment, but seeking startups, seeking entrepreneurs who are passionate. One of the main things all the funding organizations have always shared with us is that they don't fund exactly the idea, but they fund the entrepreneur behind the idea. They fund the team behind the idea. So that's very important for you to know. When you seek support from whether it's mentoring or whether it's financing from any other entity, they would always look at to see whether you have the necessary qualities of persistence, necessary qualities of resilience. Are you going to see this through? They will look at the founder, they will look at the co-founder, they will look at the team to see if you can see this through. If they believe in you, they will support you. And so because there are so many who have formed entities in Sri Lanka to do that, they only need potential scalable startups who come through events like this, come through programs like this to fund and support and take global. This slide shows various incubators and accelerators in Sri Lanka, the co-working spaces. So if you haven't heard what co-working spaces are, startups usually don't spend much on renting an office. They would go work with the community and then book or buy a seat. We call it a seat for a particular month or 6 months. And there are many like you in these co-working spaces. If you have visited Hatch, that's an example of a co-working space. And then there are many like that. I would say at the same scale, Hatch is the biggest co-working space, and it was also awarded the best co-working space from through the SCARC Awards recently. And we are happy to have such a vibrant place in Sri Lanka. So with that, there are other co-working spaces that you can look at as well. If you want to develop your capacity like you do through the Agrithon, which the Rotaract Club have got into, I hope with more visibility on what Rotaract Club plans to do, we can add Rotaract Club also into this list under capacity, under what you guys are doing. So there are so many entities, guys, who you can tie up with, and I hope the semi-finalists will get an opportunity to tie up with some of those entities which I mentioned here for further mentoring, because as I said, the journey has just begun for you guys. Another step of action from your end could be to register on startupsl.lk. I believe that after the mentoring is done, after the finals, that they will support you to maybe register your startup or to form your team and as a business. And at that point, you can register as an early stage startup on Startup SL and get its benefits, be part of the community, be part of the 418 or At least when you guys register, we might have about 450 startups already listed, and get support from the ecosystem partners there. You can also look at applying for Spiralation. And those were some of the last thoughts I wanted to leave with you. We have, I think, ample time, and with the questions that you have, I would like to have a dialogue, and that's my usual nature of having interaction and answering your questions. So yes, so then I will open up for questions, and we have ample time. I think we have almost half an hour, and I can really elaborate on other areas that you would like me to talk about.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sachindra Samaranna, for your informative session. Okay, now this is the time for you to ask any question regarding this topic or regarding this session from Mr. Sachindra. We enable your chat and you can.
Okay, I've got a question. So how does co-working spaces actually work? Please explain. Okay, great. Thank you. So as an example, if when you form a team, so your team would have 2 to 3 people or 4 people, or at the initial stage, it might be just you who would embark on this journey. So at a co-working space, you will be able to, I would say, buy a seat or pay for a seat. And this seat will be part of, I would call it an open workflow. There won't be cubicles, there won't be places like that. It's an open workspace. There'll be so many like you seated all together, and you will get a seat. You will get certain facilities like Wi-Fi, coffee, and also get access to a meeting room when you want to meet with someone, which you can book. And all of those facilities will be given to you when you buy a seat, and this comes at a very affordable cost. Then when you have 2 or 3 people in your team, maybe you would want to increase from a seat to a separated area. So in a co-working space, you can also have a small area for your team when you grow. So a co-working space supports you from your stage of being the sole entrepreneur who does everything. And when your team grows, they will support you to grow your team, to provide you the facilities at a very affordable cost. And the list that I showed you earlier, Dushanti, I'll share these slides also, are some of the co-working spaces that you find in Colombo and also Jaffna. So Hatch Column is in Jaffna, and we have there's an accelerator program taking place at Hatch Column run by YAL IT, which has about, I think about 15 or 10 or 15 startups working at Hatch Column. So if you want more information on this, please ask me, just ask online if you didn't understand it, or if my explanation wasn't sufficient. Okay, can you please explain what incubation and acceleration means? Okay, great. So these are good questions. So right now you're at a stage where you have come up with the idea. Yes, you have formed a team. You would have validated this idea. Validated would mean that, okay, you have this solution in your head for a particular problem. You would have gone and asked those who have the problem, is this the right solution? Will this fix your problem? You might have asked them, okay, will you pay money for this solution in order to fix your problem? You will also have asked, what are the other areas or what are the other problems that you have, which from our solution, if we do a little more, will also solve. So you would have validated the problem. And after this whole validation, you will, in this competition, you will pitch, and then you will get into further mentoring. In this whole mentoring process, incubation program, what it would usually do is it will evaluate where you are and the quality of your solution, and they will take you in to a program. This program could be based on the type of incubator. It could be 3 to 6 months, and they will support you through mentoring. They will support you through mentoring. They will have various mentors to support you with, like you take Spiralation, we have mentors who support you with your finances, your marketing, your business model, your HR, your legal, and it will really help you put your business together. Some incubators will also provide you a seed fund. Like in Spiralation, we provide a seed fund of around 1.2 million to 1.5 million rupees. This is to help you pay for your software engineers, help you pay for your initial costs without making that a burden to you. And that's what an incubation program does. Acceleration takes place sometimes when your startup is a bit more mature, maybe when you already have revenue. An accelerator will help you boost and especially go into global markets. Hope I answered your question. This is Shimani. Right. So how to handle big investor, how to handle investors. Okay, so even in this program, I think Agrithan would have tied up with the Lankan Angel Network, already would have engaged with them. So before going into investors, guys, you have to be investor ready. Now you're at a stage where you might be incubator ready or ready to get further mentored. Through this mentoring process, you will refine your idea much more. You will refine the problem, and then you will find a proper business model. Because without a business model, investors will not be interested in you, because they will invest looking at a return at some point. So you have to think from their angle that they invest their personal money. If it's corporate investors, they will invest in corporate money. However, they would want a return. So you need to know whether your startup could give them a return. For that, you need to have a really good business model, and especially and you should try it out with a few customers, and that's called traction, where your solution has traction. And if your solution has traction, it will give much more confidence to the investor. And as I said earlier, you as an entrepreneur, as the founding team, should be very, very committed to this. You can't have your mind at employment and also this. You should be very focused, because the investors would look at that. If they don't see those elements in you, they will not invest you. So those are some tips before you go speak to investors. And if you're a startup, some of those startups, the Startup SL, who are in the agriculture business, talk to Miller from SenseMate. They have approached investors. They have done funding rounds. Agritmix, there are many. Thuru, talk to them on how they have raised funding, and they will tell you how best to prepare yourself. Okay. Any specific advice for school students? Okay. Shaima Misbah. Okay. So we also have worked with the HackX Junior program, which was done by University of California, and that was school students. And also Generation Unlimited program, which was done by UNDP, which is all school students. Since you guys might be doing O-levels and A-levels, maybe doing A-levels, what I would suggest to you is that after this competition, try to be connected to this network. There is no age. You're not young. There's no age saying that you're too young to be an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur while you're at school. There are so many who have tried their ventures while they're at school, but you have to be connected, because your education life will go parallel. You might get into university, you might do higher education, but don't forget this entrepreneur drive that you have. Always fall in love with the problem. You might not be able to start your business right now. If that is the case, don't forget this problem that you fell in love with and the solution that you want to bring about. And from these entities that I've showed you, I know that some of them are mentoring school students as well, where we are working with universities to create an enabling environment for student entrepreneurs. So when you get into university or higher education, fortunately, you will have an environment that you could continue your entrepreneurial journey. So don't give up. Don't forget about the project that you got into through Agrithan when you win or when you are a semi-finalist or a finalist. You have to keep at it and be connected to this network that I spoke to you about. Dushanti, when in Spiralation, if provided seed fund, should we share the ownership in return? So, good question. So she's asking whether in Spiralation, so Spiralation specifically, Dushanti, is a grant since it's given by it's a government fund. We are using government money and it's given as a grant. But that's Spiralation. There'll be other programs, other mentoring or incubators or accelerators which might take a stake. As you said, ownership, not, I would call it kind of ownership, it's equity, maybe 10 to 15% of equity, because for them, it's not a grant. They need a particular return, and that's okay. Providing equity is a form of you taking your startup forward, you being able to uh, grow your business. And when you seek equity or when you seek such funding, ensure that they can provide the value to your startup. If they can provide that value, that is also a way that you can go forward, because a grant is only one off. You can only get a grant as your pre-seed. That is not even counted as a funding round. It's just for you to start off, and your journey next will be with investors, with incubators, accelerators, who will also be part of your journey. And that's why they take that that's why they would want that equity stake in your company. But Spiralation does not take equity because it's a grant. Okay, so we still have 15 minutes more, guys. I would
Okay.
love to see your faces and maybe answer some questions face to face. Yeah, stop sharing this.
Okay, if you have more time to ask questions from him, keep going and ask me.
You can send it on chat as you did. That's fine. Okay, I will also spend a bit more time, I guess, on a second. So for those who are joining on Facebook, I'll just go back to this one slide on the Startup SL. So hopefully you have already registered on Startup SL if you already have a startup. And one of the biggest benefits that you can get by registering right now is the access that you get to bid for government projects. On this slide I mentioned on the left-hand corner, since of October 2020, the Sri Lankan government through the Ministry of Finance have instructed all government department, agencies, authorities to procure or to source their software requirements through startups who are registered on Startup SL. And this is up to a budget of 2 million. So any procurement which is up to 2 million for software requirements will be sourced exclusively from startups which are registered on Startup SL, who are more than 6 months after their business registration and less than 5 years. 6 months after their business registration and less than 5 years. So do take this opportunity by registering on Startup SL. If you've already registered on Startup SL, please update your profile, update the categories that you work in, the offerings that you have through your company, because the government agencies will look at your profile to shortlist, and therefore updating it is very important. So just a note for those who are joining us on Facebook Live. Are there questions on Facebook Live that you would want to put on this chat thread, Dilini? Because I'm not looking at that.
We have received another question from Krishi. How to handle big investor or connect with us?
I think I answered that question. Okay, so maybe if it's not adequate, as I said, when you get into the mentorship program or an incubator program, the incubator or the mentors will connect you with the investors. I'm not saying that you can't connect with them directly, but you would need further, I would say, readiness to be connected with investors. The Lankan Angel Network, as I said, has a fund, and they did 2 rounds of applications. They would most probably do the 3rd round as well. So be connected to information. So hopefully the Rotaract Club will have all your emails and share some of the information which comes through the bigger network on opportunities, and then you can apply for it. But as I said, you would need some support to be ready for that. Startup SL is Startup SL only for technical startups. So I will define the Startup SL scope as technology and technology enabled. There are startups who are in the agriculture business using technology, the agri-tech. There are startups who are in the financial field using technology, which is called fintech. Those who are, but the technology blend has to be there, but I won't call them technical startups. I will call them startups who have a heavy piece of technology embedded into the startup. And to be honest, the word startup in the global sense, even right now, means that there is technology integrated, because that is the way that you can scale, that is the way that you can bring down costs, and that's the way that you can achieve high levels of efficiency and effectiveness. So I'm happy to say in Sri Lanka, the bigger proportion of scalable and successful startups are technology and technology enabled. And while saying that, yes, Startup SL will support all those technology and technology enabled startups. So I'm not getting any voice questions, direct questions at all. Do we have any questions from Facebook, Dilini?
Still, we didn't get any question from FB.
Okay. Let me check.
You have more time to ask some questions from him. Please keep going.
Okay, there's one more. Okay, advice for teams who has ideas on technology startups but don't have the competencies on IT. Okay, so I've seen many entrepreneurs who have great ideas, but would not have had the education on IT or technology to help scale it. I actually work with a few of them as well to support them, and so what they have done is some of them have worked with IT companies or other technology companies who provide services to build the software application. They have tied up with them either on a monetary basis, that is that you pay them for the service of building that application, or you ask them to come on an equity model, which is where you give certain ownership of your startup to them. You call them a technical co-founder. So this could be a company, or this could be another person. We call them a technical co-founder. And why we really promote interaction between faculties in a university is exactly for that. And even at HACEX in University of Caledonia, and I hopefully in Agritan, there are a mix of various talent coming together from various faculties and various education streams, it is essential because you need the tech guy to build your tech component. You need the marketing guy to really put a really nice brand and a really nice way of selling your product. You need the accountant, the management accountant to ensure that your books are kept right. You might even need a legal person to help you with your intellectual property and to draft contracts when you engage with clients, with investors. So it's always a blend of things. And I would say university or an educational institute which has multiple faculties is an ideal place to put this team together. And if you don't have technical co-founders or a technical skill person in your team right now, we can look at linking you up. Let's discuss with the Agrithan organizers how we can do that if you require that support, and also link up with certain incubators and companies, technology companies who support startups like you to build your product. They would take either ownership, a certain amount of ownership, a percentage of ownership in your product, or they would require a certain payment. And that is the payment that is sometimes funded by a seed fund. I know in Spiralation, we've had companies who didn't have technical competence in-house, but they got another company on board. They partnered, and the Spiralation seed fund supported them to build their minimum viable product. So we have seen that happening as well. Thank you for that question. I think some of the questions you asked, Shanti, has really helped the audience as well. Thank you for that. For the time being, about 8 minutes more.
Okay, is there any question you have to ask?
I'll just leave the screen on the various parties that are involved in Sri Lanka to support. So if you have a startup or your idea is socially oriented, where you really are passionate about bringing that impact, the UNDP HackerDev incubator, the second one after Spiralation, is predominantly supporting those startups which are looking at higher impact, but still forming your business, but with a higher impact. You would support that. If you have a financial product that supports agriculture, then the Hatchex accelerator could support you, but they do take in startups who are at a bit of a more mature or at least revenue stage. They might look at it. So, and the PwC accelerator, which I have mentioned here, have supported ideal stage startups to further get their business model right, and they are based at Hatch, and maybe you can approach them. So these are some of the entities you can approach. And through the Agrithan, as the organizers are already working or talking to different partners on how they can support you in the future after the finals, we will, as ICTA, will also support in connecting with some of these other parties, because as I said, this is the journey that you have started, and it does not end after you win or get selected. It is only a validation of your business idea, and you haven't solved the problem by just having that validation. There's a journey ahead. And I say this to a lot of startups: if the problem that you are tackling is something you really want to solve, it might be only you and your team who have taken that very important mission onto your shoulders. It might be only you. So if you don't solve it, there might be no solution for that problem. So with that in mind, I would say, leaving 5 minutes for closure, I would wish you all the best and hope to engage with you in the future as well. And as I would like to reiterate, I hope you have fallen in love with your problem, and you will, with persistence and determination and resilience, continue your journey as entrepreneurs. Thank you once again to the Rotaract Club for inviting me. Thank you, Akil, for getting me involved. And wish you guys all the best in doing more programs like this with other groups, with other verticals. And thank you for that commitment. Have a nice day.
Well, now we have come to the end of session. Thank you again, Mr. Sachindra, for your informative, attractive, and effective session. It was a great opportunity for you, for all of us to know about those things from an expert like you. Now you all have good knowledge about startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka. We really appreciate your presence today and spend your valuable time with us. And thank you everyone for participating today. We will keep you informed about our future webinars and future work we are going to do. Keep in touch with us. Thank you. Stay safe. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome, okay.